operating system? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, in other words, I have a copy of it here on my physical computer, and I have a copy of it online, and I want to synchronize it. I update it here, and then or I'm on the bus and I'm trying to work. I'm on the train and I'm trying to work. I'm offline, right? And when I get back to network connectivity, I want to be able to synchronize it, and I can't. You can, when you're done, you can download it as OpenOffice. You can download it as PDF, RTF, Word, HTML, zip. So when you're done working with it, you can download it to the format that you want. All right? Mm-hmm. Yay, calendars. Let's go look at calendars. Calendars, like Google Documents, is shareable, so you can share calendars with people. Are we sharing a calendar, ESL people? We're not. Well, we will be. Over here I have all these calendars. ESL, family, modern languages in both campuses. And I can have, how do we say this? Layered calendars. Okay? And so you can layer them all over the place. I hear one family. Well, it's my family one, right? Separate from the classes that I'm teaching, or separate from ESL classes, right? So here ESL classes are beginning. Okay? I can give you guys access to these, and then you have access to these calendars. I'm pretty sure I've given access to these calendars. Have you seen these, Sonja?
Yeah, I checked your schedule last night.
Okay, so you have access to this calendar. Not to the other one, but this one, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's one advantage here. You set up a schedule. You can use this with your students, with the faculty within your department. Set up a schedule. Anything that's added here, you can be notified. You can get alerts. A little pop-up that says, hey, 20 minutes, you have this class. You can get an email alert. Okay, so you can use a calendar similar to other places, but it's just part of the package that's here. We okay with a calendar? Mm-hmm. So you could set up work schedules here for the Writing Center. Literally set them up here. Now you don't have to print them out. You don't have to worry about whatever. They're here. Somebody wants to change. If you give them access to modify, then they can modify.
But would that person have to be on Google Docs?
To view, no. To modify, yes. Okay? Okay? Mm-hmm. That's Google Docs.
Wouldn't that be a danger? Like for no reason, people just change their schedules at will, and then she wouldn't even know.
So yeah, but Millie, she would simply give them view capabilities. And if they want to change it, they have to come to her, and then she has to change it. Right, they'll change, yeah.
You never put me on that.
Yeah, that's right. I'm scheduled for Saturday at 2 a.m., and I was there. In addition to Google Docs, there's about a dozen other of these. One of the ones that I wanted to quickly mention is Zoho. Zoho.com is very similar to Google Docs, except that, in my opinion, it's better.
Better than Google Docs?
Yeah, it's basically the interface is just different. There's also more options. Google has about 4 things. Look at all the options that are here. I don't even have all of them listed. Reports, meetings, invoices, a business. You can run a business off of this. It's all web-based. Okay? Database creator, project management system, a CRM. You could run a store off of this, right? Presentation tool, spreadsheet writer, these are all typical, right? Over here, which I didn't have, they had question maker for giving a tests and whatnot. There's a lot of options here. I'm not going to go into them, but just to let you know, they are available. I like it better. So you can share it, you can have a history revision, you can upload and download to major word processors.
Do they have to go on to Zoho.com?
They can I log into Zoho through Google. I don't know if you've seen this now, but there are places that say you log on through your Facebook account or log on through your Google account, and that's what I do.
So is this open source?
I don't know if this is open source. Is it free? Yes. For most things. Yeah, that's a whole other realm for you. It's how this business model. How in the world do they do? But they do. OpenOffice is huge. OpenOffice. Red Hat is probably the most profitable Linux flavor that's running a business. They do a lot of their work. They make a lot of their money out of service. Right.
Consulting type.
Yeah. I mean, if this school decided they wanted to go open office, there's just a ton of things that they could do for us, and we would pay them for the service. The software itself is free.
And so behind that question is, how do they have the resources to maintain all this stuff and keep it updated? And
I don't know.
And
Again, for
with
your
Google,
students.
you kind of know that.
Oh, yeah. They're making money hand over fist. By the way, these people are fighting with and or working with Google, because Google is the big elephant in the room. Yeah. But this is just two. There's at least a dozen of them that I know. Microsoft is into this. Adobe is into this. Go ahead. But they have just more, okay, than Google. Okay? If you're interested, please go look. My way. Now, we'll do this first. As I mentioned before, most of you get your news either radio news, TV, or physical newspapers. There are hundreds of online-only newspapers. Most famous that I know of is WorldNet Daily. WorldNet Daily is only news online, and it's a Christian newspaper. They do normal news, but they're all written from a Christian perspective. So I would recommend you go and look at their stuff, because the majority of the stuff that you're going to get on radio, TV, and newsprint is left. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's the only side that you used to be able to get until now. Now there are a bazillion things that you can get that are right. For example, WorldNet Daily or Newsmax, which is also a physical newspaper, but it's also web. World Magazine, Christianity are Christian news magazines. Some conservative ones that are down here. World Tribune, probably never heard of it. American Thinker. Very good articles on current issues, conservative based. Spectator. Why did I put that there? Breitbart. Does anybody know Breitbart? About 3 weeks ago, there was a huge, actually about 3 months ago, there was a huge stink about some congressman, some black congressman who said he yelled the N-word when he was at a Tea Party. And it was the big thing in the news, okay, on radio and television, and Breitbart said, oh, wait a minute, I was there. I had 4 cameras there following this congressman. And Breitbart put out a challenge. Anybody who can find me film of this happening, I'll pay you $10,000. It never happened. People continued to attack Breitbart. And he then said, look, if you're attacking me about prejudice, I'm going to tell you in your own ranks, you have prejudice. And he put up a video of some lady working for I forget who was talking about being prejudiced against whites. And the president fired her, or the president's office fired her, and then rehired her because the video that was put up was only partial. All that was done through this guy here, Breitbart. His site is, again, conservative. My only reason for bringing this up is to show you, you have access to this stuff. You didn't before. This is My Way. And again, I'm not so much thrilled about My Way, although My Way is a nice site. It's a portal, like a Yahoo page or a Google desktop. A place where you can set things up that you like, that you want to use. I'm more concerned about the one over here that says local newspapers. So if you go to My Way, create an account, you can set up a page the way you like it. And they've got a whole bunch of newspapers that you can have access to. Some of them you probably know, USA Today, New York Times. There's Breitbart. I added that, okay, because it was conservative. And New York Times isn't necessarily as conservative.
What's the difference between the darker printed?
Ones that have been recently clicked and ones that haven't. So Cyberclass is also conservative. Investors Business Daily is definitely more conservative, even though they write from a business slant. Okay, they're more capitalist, I guess I should say. National Review is more conservative. So I can add all these newspapers. Notice where it is on my list. It's the first tab on my list. I can wake up in the morning, put my mouse, hold the control key, click, 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 and I can get 7 or 8 newspapers and review them in 30 minutes. to get a snapshot of the news that's happening all over the place, all over the world. See that one down there, the New Zimbabwe? I have friends out there. I can get news from everywhere, quickly. Not paying a penny for it. I don't have to wait for the newspaper to arrive. Okay? I've got stuff in the center here, too, from other places. AP, Fox News. Okay? But I can also add all these. You need to know this. Your students need to know this. I don't know where they're getting their news from. But I can wake up in the morning and I can get news from all over the place. Drudge is another one. Drudge is, what's the word? They're libertarian. You know what libertarian is. And again, whatever their slant, you know that when you walk in so that you can have whatever, shields or protections that you need as you read, but at least you know that you have access to all this stuff that we didn't have before. Drudge is one of the first ones that came out in the 1990s. His site is not pretty at all. It's a boring site. But he's got, how many today? 27 million today. Hits. People who have come to look at this. And what time is it today? Within the past 24 hours.
But he has Thomas Sowell. This libertarian kind of like very liberal.
Libertarian, okay, small synopsis of libertarian. The government should not be involved in my life. Now this means smaller government, which also means less taxes. Slow down, which means less rules and regulations, okay? Gordon here is going, yay, because he left. At the other end, there's the people who say, if I want to have abortion or have 3 wives or marry my daughter or my daughter's dog, that's between me and my daughter's dog.
So that would be also private.
Those are also libertarian, okay? So libertarian is kind of what we want is the government out of our systems. We only want them there when we need them there, like if there's a fire or for the police or for the interstate commerce or.
So it's conservative in that it took about small government, but because of that, it doesn't have anybody's idea.
That's right. Okay.
Lawful marriage.
The worst thing you can say to a libertarian is that they're conservative. They hate that.
Small government is very, that's what I thought it was.
Well, Gordon's right. In that sense, okay, they are. But if you dress them in the complete clothes of conservatism, they're not going to be happy.
Thank you for taking the time, because I thought I knew it, and then I thought so, and I said, no, that's it.
And this guy Drudge, I believe, I don't know if he's Christian. I'm certain that there are some of these places, the people who are writing are very Christian, and they're very conservative, and they may even give themselves the label libertarian. But on moral issues, they're not going to join the true libertarians. You're going to have that box. Okay? Mm-hmm. Anyway, I only brought up Drudge because they are so large. And it's a boring site.
Yeah.
But his articles are from all over the place. When I first started looking here, I'm like, the Scottish newspaper? Yeah. He pulls anywhere that's English, he pulls out articles. And it's funny that sometimes our news media is nice to the government, and you go to the UK and they're ripping the government. You get a different perspective from over there. Okay? You wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know that, because I'm not going to go read the UK Times, Sun's Up, but I'll get it here because he does the homework. Which is why, one of the reasons why he's very popular. Again, got to take it with a grain of salt. But at least now we have more options. All right? At least now we have more options. Okay. Presentation tips. When you go to make PowerPoint presentations, and when I teach a class that's almost any class that I teach, I'll have a slide like this ready. As I mentioned before, I used to have little cards. It didn't matter whether I was teaching ESL or teaching technology or teaching education courses. I had a little outline of what I wanted to cover. I don't need that anymore because now I just have the PowerPoints. This also enables me to pop up quotes that I may want to include, or pictures graphs that I want to include, and I don't need to hand them out anymore. I put them into PowerPoint, I make the PowerPoints available to my students, and now they have, in fact now, my students are like, can I have what do you call that thing when you need to study, a piece of list of all the things that they need to study for an exam, what do you call that thing? a review sheet, right, or a study guide.